Hi, this is Boglir. This is Bronya. I'm going to show you how to install a web development environment. I'm going to show you two ways. One way is fairly quick. It will take just a few minutes. You download a few things, you're good to go. But it's not the best solution for running a full-fledged development environment where you're working on multiple projects at once. I'm going to show you second one, which is much more powerful. It's actually a full-fledged development environment. Nevertheless, I'm not going to show you how to deploy your pages on the internet so other people can see them. You have to get some sort of server, some sort of space on a server at least. Check wherever you are who's providing those services and consult with them how to do it. So for the quick and dirty, what you need is two things. First thing is brackets. So you go to brackets.io, download brackets, save it, and you need to download Chrome. So you can Google or Bing for Google Chrome. So we have those. Let's run it. I'm showing this in a virtual machine. It's not an actual computer, it's just a virtual machine. It's a clean installation, so you can see it installing when you have nothing pretty much. I have, of course, my whole environment running on my local computer already. So installing Chrome, for the first way, you actually have to have Chrome. For the other solution, you don't need to have any browser, or pretty much you have to have a browser to do web development, but you don't have to have specifically Chrome. I'm going to be showing things in Chrome. I'm used to Chrome, I'm used to using Chrome, but other environments, other browsers like Microsoft Edge or Firefox, good enough. Chrome is a regular browser like any other. Let's shut it down. Brackets down. Let's install brackets. Let me create a folder here. Let's call it Devil. I hope I have enough resources for my virtual machine to run. Okay, we're almost there. Hopefully. In the meantime, open a browser, any browser, and search for XAMPP. And we can start downloading it as well. That's for the second part, but while brackets is working. Not that. Some for Windows. Give me this installer, please. Hopefully it will start soon enough. Save XAMPP, please. So while XAMPP is downloading, we have Chrome, we have brackets, finish. We can open brackets or make why not? Let's spin it. I would assume it would go much faster on a regular computer, not on a virtual machine. There's some default page. Will tell you what to do with brackets, how to work with brackets. You can read it. Let's start a new project. I created a devel on desktop. Open it. You can start a new file. Let's name it index.html. Okay. We have it in our devel folder, wherever you create it. And if you want to view it, you can actually click live preview, and you need a Google Chrome for it. And it will run the page. Okay, let's do something here. Reload the page. It says hi through JavaScript, then it displayed the HTML page. So you can use this quick setup to start working on your HTML page. And just reloading the page. If you close it, you can just again use the same icon to run it. The dirtier work, it's better actually. I think it's better. It's much more like you would set up an actual server, because when you run this, you see the address is some sort of local host. So the other way is to download the XAMPP and run the XAMPP. The XAMPP will install several environments or several tools. It will install web server, it will install database, and it will install PHP or maybe Perl. So if you are looking for a complete environment where you can write an actual applications, big scale application that has databases that have some sort of server processing of data. So what we want is what is sort of necessary for a large-scale programming. I don't need any of those. You choose a server language, either PHP or Perl, most likely PHP, Apache, MySql, and this is the minimum you pretty much need for a full-fledged web development. You need a server, database, and programming language, and put it as you've seen somewhere outside your program files. For example, seek_sam. Then for a editor that you will use to actually work on your projects, you may use whatever editor you want. The brackets, the idea with the brackets is the fact that it has the icon. It can show live very simply, in a very simple manner, very simple fashion, what you are actually working on. I'm using NetBeans. I'm personally using you need a Java actually for it, so it will require Java to run. NetBeans PHP there. You can download it and use it. If you want to learn how to, I'm going to show you how to set up Apache server. If you want to learn how to use PHP, how to set up PHP, which is a server language, how to use and how to set up databases. I'm not going to be doing that tutorial now. What we want to work first is front-end development. But it's good to install everything, even the database, even the server side, if you want to learn more, if you want to do more. So it has a control panel. I would assume at this point it's here, not desktop, please, PC, drive C, and I install it here in exam. So this is the control panel that you can use to manage the environment. Just put it down, create a shortcut. And at this point, let's start Apache, which is a server you want to run. Or let's stop it and check out some configuration. The Apache. This one, directories, aliases. Okay, how is it included? It's included here. Okay. So let's stick with this one, the basic one, the long one, the main one. What this setup allows you to do is to set up domains. Of course, you know, if you want to check out some web page, you need to know the domain of the web page. For example, google.com. The last part is called top level domain, TLD, and there's a top level domain that is specifically, they are managed by an organization called IANA, and there is a TLD that is designed for development. It will never be assigned to anyone. It will never belong to anyone. And the domain is called test. So what, for example, I have at home, I have a project. Let's say I'm working on a project on a example.com domain. So at home I have a setup that's working on example.test. I'm going to show you how to do it here. You need to do several steps, and you need to do it for pretty much any domain you want. How to set up Apache, I'm not going to go through every single configuration for Apache. Google for Apache config, will learn what it means. I'm going to show you the basic. Let me copy here and paste something, and that. Let's then modify it. We already have the project in this folder, so let's get the folder path. Okay. Clipboard's not working between virtual and actual computer. Virtual host. gonna work. Let's set it up first. So we have a new host. Define a new host. We need to say where it is. Document root. It's gonna be here. And the domain, let's call it mytest.test. Let's give it an alias. So both works. Save it. That's one thing. When a computer searches for address or searches for web page, it needs to know how to translate the domain name to an actual computer on the internet. It's doing so through so-called domain name servers or domain name services. Services that translates the domain name, in this case google.com, to an actual computer on the internet. So we need to tell our computer to translate this mytest and www.mytest.test to this computer because it would try to search it somewhere outside, and it of course doesn't exist. So let's do it differently so we can do it pretty much whenever we want. Let's go to your computer. To your system disk, usually C, program files x86. No, not here. Actually, Windows. You probably not gonna see it here. It doesn't matter. Oh, it is here. System 32 drivers etc. So it's this path, and there's a file called hosts. Let's create a shortcut here. Do not copy it, create a shortcut. If you don't see this path or you don't see this file, you have to set up your folder so you can see hidden files and hidden folders. It's a setting on Windows. If you don't know how to do it, Google it, display hidden files. And let's open it. You won't be able to edit it because it's a system file. You cannot edit it like you would normally edit regular file. You need to edit it as an administrator. So run Notepad as administrator. Never mind. Come on. Okay, now I have it. Probably shortcut's not gonna work here. Let's do it this way. Let's put a shortcut to etc here. I can close this. Now let's run Notepad. as an administrator. For some reason, nevertheless, I can see it. Okay, and here you have to define what's where, which means you're gonna say that your local computer, which is 127.0.0.1, it's always like this, is how did we call it, my test, this as well. When your computer is trying to search for the domain, it first goes through this file, and if it finds the domain that you've specified, it will try to contact the computer it should contact. Now everything should be running. So we have the Apache setup, we have the virtual host. So document root tells where the project is, which is here. This is the domain and this is the alias for the domain name. Save it and restart Apache, which means you have to stop it and then start it again. Let's just start it. How did I call it? My test. Access forbidden. Index.html. Okay. Give me the directory, the correct directory. Why not like this? Cannot run in the directory I've specified, so we'll just say hey. Now it's working on our domain the same way here, whether it's www or without the W due to the alias, it's working. I have to set up the directory so I actually allow the access to the directory. I definitely don't suggest you should have it on your desktop and allow the access to your whole desktop. Well, find your place somewhere on your computer where you want to have your projects. Let's put it here. Let's put this here. Now what we can do is, let's stop you and put this here. I'm putting just this folder that's gonna hold all, let's say all my projects. I say the first one, the my test, is gonna be here. Let's create another one. save this configuration file, and we need to of course add the domain here as well. We have both of them. If I try to run this right now, it will fail because I don't have that. Didn't? Interesting. Should have. Stop it anyway. We need to create the project. It should have failed. Probably doesn't care, which is a good thing. Will I be able to change the maybe? If you want your file to be like a root file, like a default file, it needs to start like index HTML, index PHP, something like that. Let's call it index HTML. Okay, we don't need this anymore. So now when I run the server, it's our file. Reload it. I have a HTML link which points to nothing. So now you can have different projects clearly separated, for example, by their domain name, by certain structure, wherever you want them to be. I think it gives you more control over what you are doing, specifically because you actually have the full control over Apache, full control over PHP, full control over database. Again, what you need to do to set it up, if you have it all downloaded and installed, just stop the Apache and the httpd-conf, just open it from here from config. Set up a path where you want to have your project. So all projects are below this. I just borrowed, as you can see, I borrowed this from somewhere. And then set up all your domains, where they live and how are they called. Save it. Then, as I've said, you need the access to the etc. I showed you the path where it lies. You need to open a program. If I just try to open it with I'm not able to save it right now because this is a protected file. You need to, so it tells me save it somewhere else, if I try to save it as a host, it's not working. You need to run the notepad or any other program you're going to use to edit the file as an administrator. And you do it by right clicking and run as administrator. Now I can do some changes here and I can save the file. Run the server again and your setup is running. Let me do an error just so you can see it. This should fail, hopefully. Yeah. It's something like this happens. It's not running. You have errors somewhere in your config files. It doesn't have to be in this one. There are several config files, you can actually edit, as it said, check your Windows Event Viewer for more information, or go through your config files and look what you've changed. The best solution, of course, is if you want to do bigger changes, just back up your config file first. Now you technically can go, and I think it should be here. It's not gonna tell you much necessarily. It depends on what the Apache server will provide for information. What time? Okay, 2:30. Oh, okay. That's a weird time. Apparently it's not even logged in event logger. The web server didn't even bother. So this is a way how to set up your environment, and then you can start to actually develop. So all you need is some sort of editor. You can of course edit in Notepad, but that's like the worst idea to use. I show you the brackets. If you have this set up, of course you don't need to run it run it through here. So this is the basic setup for web development. Hope it's useful for you, and I'm gonna see you in my next lecture. Thank you for watching. See you next time.